Can you tell us a little about yourself and what brought you to Williston State College?
Okay. My name is James Skinner, and I've been an art teacher / artist person in Williston for a couple of years now. I guess it'd be like 14, something like that years. And I came to the college after swapping from high school, teaching high school art, to teaching college art. So that was just a logical switch for me.
And what classes specifically do you teach here in the art program?
Currently, I teach drawing 1, painting 1, ceramics 1, intro to visual arts, 2D design, and I think I'm missing one there, but the basics for art right now.
What inspired you to pursue art and teaching?
So I actually started my bachelor's degree as a paleontology major, and then I switched to art. Well, I switched to science ed is what I switched to. And then by the time I was in my sophomore year of college, going into junior, I switched to art ed because I enjoyed drawing, and I have always drawn and done stuff like that. So I just kind of switched to art education. And from there, it was just kind of, that was my degree. I got the job. I enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed kind of doing that whole, let me show you how to do things, and the whole, that's so cool. So I don't know. I guess that's kind of how I got to doing that.
What do you enjoy most about living and working in the Williston community?
I like to fish a lot. And so if we were specifically talking about the Williston community, the ready access to Sakakawea and all the good fishing is really nice. But I also like the general size of the town. It's not too small that we don't have things, but it's big enough that we have most things that I could ask for. And, it's easy enough to get to point A to point B. I don't have to worry about 30 minutes of traffic or anything like that. So it has a lot of the benefits of a slightly larger town without most of the negatives. So I don't know. That's, I guess, kind of the value of Williston.
And what is your favorite thing in your professional or personal experiences that you like to bring into the classroom?
So as far as art is concerned, I'm like an illustrator. That's my cup of tea, my interest, my jam. And so I like to paint fantasy. You can think of fantasy illustrations, that kind of stuff. So I like to bring that imaginative realism type aspect into the classroom. So I like to introduce a lot of current artists. I like to show people hey, look at this guy. You can go follow his book covers or whatever, or go check out his Instagram or whatever. So I I have, my interest is on the more commercial side of art. And so it's kind of art made for publications or things like that. But these are people that are actively producing, and they're making kind of this creative realism type stuff. And so I think that's kind of a little different than, say, your more traditional art teacher that's into say a little bit more of traditional art history or what might be considered more traditional fine art.
What do you hope your students take away from your classes beyond textbooks?
I hope that they take away the fact that art is a hobby that teaches you to see the world differently, and that it's a great tool to use to hobbies are important. And I think that whether you're going into nursing or welding or whatever, you need a hobby of some kind to kind of keep you sane in a lot of ways. It's something to do when you're done doing work, and art is just one of the best ones. Plus all of the value you get out of just, it makes you kind of look at the world a little bit more critically. And I think that's important. You don't just take shadows for granted or whatever. It just makes you kind of be more aware of everything you're looking at. So hopefully that's what they take away.
What's one fun fact about you that your students might not know?
I play Magic the Gathering. It's a card game, and I play it fairly competitively. I travel to tournaments across the area. I've traveled all the way to Las Vegas. I play a lot of competitive Magic the Gathering, and so you probably don't want to play me in card games.
What or who has been the biggest influence in your career or teaching style?
So when I was in college at Minot State University, I had a professor, his name was Bill Harbort. He's still at Minot. And he introduced me to the kind of the illustrative world that I am now really into. So I think he was the person that showed me Michael Whalen, and Michael Whalen's like this well-known cover artist for a lot of books and stuff. And that kind of just really opened the door to like this whole world that I knew existed. Like I've been into, you know, that genre of stuff, but didn't really like pay attention to, I guess, the art and the people behind it. And so he probably is the one that introduced me to all of that and kind of started that whole journey. And there's been many others past that point, but he's probably the one that opened the door for all that.
What's your favorite memory or proudest moment from your time so far at WSC?
So, that's kind of hard. Right now, this semester, I am doing my first ceramics class, and I have never taught ceramics. I've taught painting, I've taught drawing in high school for years, but ceramics, I took it in college quite a bit. I like ceramics a lot, but I haven't taught it. And so this year we're teaching ceramics, and I've got some people making some really big, cool, aggressive, bold things. And so that's been really exciting. And I've had a couple of test firings that didn't go wrong. So that's good. I'm pretty excited about that. So far ceramics has been great, and I'm enjoying it.
In your opinion, what makes Williston State College special?
The class size is really nice. Like just the number of students that you'll have in each class, the access you have to your teachers, and just the ability to really interact with the people on campus is way easier than, say, a bigger school where, especially if it's like a research-based school where you're always kind of worried about interrupting with the professor's research or any of their side work that isn't related to teaching. You have like ready access to all the professors here. And I think that makes it a very personal, like easily to connect with school.
Lastly, what advice would you give to students who are just starting out or considering coming to Williston State College?
You should be willing to spend time on campus and get involved with a lot of the things that happen on campus. So especially if you're living in the dorms, don't be afraid to go to some of those like podunk, like, oh, that's just like, the little meet and greet thing. I don't need to go to that. Go to those things. They're fun. Get involved in like, esports or the art club or anything else. Like, don't be afraid to be involved in the stuff that's going on the campus. It'll make your experience here more full. And also don't forget that like, this is your time to make those learning and mistakes and try things out and do the thing. You're a student. You get to be a student. Like, don't worry so much about what's going to happen after this, because you'll have most of your time after this.